Welcome back, legends. I hope you're all amazing. On today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the new features and effect types in the AXE FX3 delay block for the latest public beta. Before we do that, I'm going to spew some notes out for you using the 2290 delay type and the new panning LFO feature in the delay block. We'll come back around to how I dialed this delay in, but for now, this is what it sounds like. The main new feature in here is that if you go to the modulation tab of the delay block, either on hardware or in AXE Edit, like I'm using at the moment, there is a third LFO in here that can target either the pan parameter, the new spread parameter for the relevant effect types, or the level, and there are corresponding effect types which make use of this. For example, I've got the new pan delay effect type dialed up at the moment, and we can immediately hear what's happening with this and play around with the panning rate, shape, depth, and phase. So I'm going to set the core delay time to about 350 milliseconds on here, and then I'll just kind of dial in a few different rates and have a bit of a play. Check it out. Really cool. I love the spatial effect there. And this is different to a ping pong delay, because a ping pong delay will basically take whatever your core delay time is, and you get the first repeat on the left, the second repeat on the right, the third repeat on the left, and so on and so forth. Here, the panning doesn't have to be synchronized with the delay time. In fact, you can set the tempo in there. For example, let's do this. Let's set the panning to be an eighth note triplet, but we will set the core delay time to be a dotted eighth note, so they are offset from one another in here. This should sound pretty interesting. Let's try it. It's almost like the stereo tremolo effect going on there. Instead of targeting the pan control in there, we could target the level. In fact, there's an effect type in here called stereo trem delay that does that by default. You can see the spread control in here as well for the stereo types, but I'm just going to crank the feedback up on this one to maybe 55% so you can really hear this, and I'll just leave the delay time where it is. Check it out. last new type is, what is the last new type? This one's really cool, wandering delays in here. So what I'm going to do is set this up so I've got a quarter note and an eighth note delay in here. And if we take a look under the modulation for LFO3, you can see this is targeting the pan, but there's a phase offset in there and there's some modulation on the delay time. To finish off, I'll show you that 2290 sound from the start of the video. I've selected the 2290 type. I've got 333 milliseconds of delay, feedback at 40%, mix at 35%, and in the more section, I've added 12 dB of ducking in there. However, I haven't played around with the panning LFO just yet. So this is what the 2290 sounds like without the panning. I still think it sounds pretty fantastic. Let's see, bridge pickup. Make sure you listen to that in stereo, otherwise you won't hear any delay because of this phase reverse on the right channel. Let's do this now. Let's assign LFO3 to the pan, and I'm going to set the phase to 0 and the rate to 0.5 hertz. Now, if you do this, you're not going to hear anything just yet because that LFO value multiplies the value of the echo pan. So you need to turn echo pan up to 100. So echo pan up to 100, then add whatever rate you want with this third LFO as well as the depth and the phase offset. I've gone for 0.5 hertz and 100%. And now we have this incredible 2290 panning sound. So good on there. And of course, if you take that to the next level and you add a little bit of the 1210 chorus and some stereo pitch detune, this is the H3000 emulation that a buddy of mine matched to my actual hardware Eventide H3000. I've shared this in my blocks library, and you crank on that panning delay and I've got the London plate reverb. I think I added a boost in the amp block as well as the fat switch. Then you get the tone that you heard at the start of the video. I'll let you hear it in isolation. Then I'm going to noodle some more over a different backing track. Shout out to my buddy Backing Tracks by Tim for these tracks. I'll link them in the video description. I will also link my Patreon and the music that I make. If you want to support my channel directly, you can grab the firmware from the forum and try it out. And otherwise, I'm going to play you all out with some of this glorious panning 2290. I'll put this preset up on Exchange as well, so you can all grab it. Let me know what you think about the new delay features and effect types. There's a bunch of other things in this firmware that have been added, especially to the FC controllers, that I will need to cover in a future video. But for now, I hope you all enjoy playing with this firmware, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Cheers.